Hey, what's up, everyone? It's me, Matt from Diazable, doing another album review. And today we're checking out the band Dying Fetus with their album Make Them Beg for Death. A little bit of background on this band is they are a death metal band out from Maryland. They've been doing death metal for about 30 plus years now, since like the early 90s. One of the big like death metal bands that come out from the early 90s death metal scene when it really started to pick up traction, and they've been in the game for a long time. And I've seen this band's name throughout the years when I was listening to earlier heavy stuff in my middle school, high school days. I always thought, oh man, Dying Fetus, that band just is too extreme for me. I can't get into that. I don't want to get into that. And I always put them on the back burner and never looked at them for the longest. But because of starting this YouTube channel, my reviews and stuff, I really want to like not think like that and like take in everything that I would always like disregard and not want to listen to. So that's where I stand on with Dying Fetus and everything. And I'm super excited that I got to expand my thoughts on this band and everything and got a real um, listen to them and everything. Granted, this is their newest stuff. I haven't listened to all their stuff. And people, if you see this video, let me know if what my thoughts are, if they're wrong or correct, or you think I got things a little bit misunderstood, because I'm starting off with their new material, none of their old stuff. So this is my starting jumping off point with Dying Fetus. So maybe I'm missing something because I didn't listen to their older stuff or their best work, to your opinion and whatnot. So leave it down below so I know what to check out next when it from Dying Fetus and everything. So this is my review of their newest album that came out in 2023, Make Them Beg for Death. Let's get into it. Now, the first thing I noticed about here was the guitar work on this particular song. They kind of sounded a bit like mid, like nothing too flashy, nothing too special. Like this is what they play like. But this is just the opening track. But I will say the snare drum on here particularly is sharp and very snappy. Vocals are really strong and mixed in well on this track. Super tight and kind of stiff playing from the guitars, not too bad or anything, just a little bit like stiff. Vocalist reminds me of Nathan Explosion from Metalocalypse.
Even when you're gone, I'll tell them my religion's you. When punctures
Here we got some more groovy and technical guitar playing. The vocals are ungodly deep. Like I didn't know like some people can get that low in their registry when singing and stuff and growling that low. So very impressive there. Drums are really tight here, and they use a lot of cymbals on this particular track, which sounds really cool. Very technical playing here on all aspects of guitar and drumming and whatnot. But I will say there feels like there's no bass on this track. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy. I'm not really feeling so much bass here. The breakdown feels a little bit hollow and empty. But after the 2 minute and 40 seconds mark of the song, you get some really good playing here, mixed in with some good hardcore style riffs and everything towards the back end of the song. And I see what people talk about, that Dying Fetus is a mix of like death metal hardcore. You can really feel it on this particular song. The drums towards the end of the song feel more loose and fun and more enjoyable towards the end of the song. So here's a little clip of Compulsion for Cruelty. Ooh, those drums sound really good. So snap. We got some really slow guitar chugs here, backed by some really fast drumming. Add some nice versatility to these songs. The guitars have a really good tuning here. I like the tuning on this particular song. Lots of intense like stop and go playing with technical riffs and everything. Maybe it's the production, but I would say in the middle of the song, it feels kind of empty. But after that, they get some solid riffing here that with some brutal vocals that help fill that void. but for a little bit, it felt like the song kind of felt hollow and empty in the middle. And as the song progresses, it gets tighter on the riffs and the drums. Sounds crazy robotic how fast and tight they're playing. Like you would think, like, is it real people? Is it a robot? Because they're really tight. Overall, it's a very death metal song through and through. The ending of the song is a little bit muddled in terms of sound quality. Like it's kind of hard to hear. The double kick drums sound really good. Overall, this song is very up and down in terms of like, do I like it? Do I not like it? A lot of good and bad here, I think. The vocals and the backing vocals on this particular track go really well together. Got some more groove here on this song from the riffs and everything. I think also I'm hearing more bass and feelings more bass on this particular track, which is cool. Has an overall better vibe, but I do feel like something is missing from this song. Like it feels a little bit empty at times, and I can't pinpoint what makes it. Maybe it's the production, maybe it's the way they're playing here. Something feels empty. This is a simple and tight song with the riffs and the drumming and everything. I would say it's a pretty standard death metal song, but I feel like the song is feeling pretty light and kind of empty. Like it's missing some weight to it, and I still can't put my finger on it if it's the production or how they're playing. It's just something is missing, especially on this particular song. Especially during the guitar solo, it sounds really empty and everything. But towards the end of the song, they got some groove to it, but just for a short bit. And I think it's funny, like this is like a really popular song from off this album, and usually most popular songs I usually don't like for some reason. I noticed that when reviewing stuff, so maybe I'm missing something here. Please let me know. I heard that like this song in particular has a really good pitting part to it, but when I listened to it, I didn't really feel it, I guess. So let me know how you feel about this song. And with that being said, I want to play a little clip of Unbridled Fury. I don't know. It's like it's death metal, but it just seems so empty for some reason for me. Maybe I'm crazy. Now, this particular song, I don't know what it is, but it feels like this is really where like things are really jumping off for me for this album. There's some real bite to it and everything. They got like a real like fire, passion, heftiness to them on this particular song because it feels like they're going all off and going like they're going off at all cylinders, as the expression goes. They got some real power here. Definitely more interesting riffs. Vocals consistently good, brutal, and just heavy as fuck. Bass, I can feel bass. I can hear it on this track particularly. It's nice, and the tuning is really good. The production is still very clean, but something about it is just different. It's just hitting harder on this particular song. And like towards the end of the song, they like make it really, really heavy, and it's just like very impressive. So I want to play a clip of When the Trend Ends. I don't know what it is, but this song it's fucking fire. Here I'm noticing that the bass is getting some more noticeable attention here on the back end of this album. And so far I guess the B side of this record sounds more interesting and sounds more dynamically different than the first half. Like everything sounds better, and then the way they're playing is more interesting here. The riffs are really, really good on this particular track. The drums, though, they're a little bit buried, but they still sound good from how they're playing and everything. Slower and simpler song towards the back end of the song. Then back to that madness, like fast tempo they're known for. Overall, I think it's a pretty good song. It's got some interesting guitar scaling and everything, and it's a very vibrant song, I feel. Here we got some mesmerizing backing guitar work that really like hooks you in. Then we got some subtle but pummeling drums. And then the breakdown in this song, it goes pretty fucking hard. So good job, guys. Drums sound really good on this particular track. There's a lot of time to let the drums breathe and show the skills of the drummer on the kit. The riff's got some good catchiness to it, and overall, like I'm saying, the back end of this album just sounds better. On this song, at the beginning, it's a bit awkward with the opening guitars, but they find a nice, solid groove pretty quick in the song. And just overall, this is a very interesting, dynamic song. And like I said, the back end of this album just sounds so much better than the first half. It just sounds more interesting. The production sounds better. There's more weight to it, and you can really feel it in this particular track. I feel like it's a completely different band in the back end of this album because it feels like the songs are more worked out, more thought. There's more thought put into them. They feel more focused and dialed in on these particular tracks. They're heavy, dark, and just sounding more menacing. Especially the vocals, they sound like really good on top of the menacing guitars. So whatever it is in this back end of this album, they're doing a great job of it. It's very solid death metal with sprinkles of hardcore in it. So I get the comparison and why people say like they like hardcore guys and people need to put some respect on their name because Dying Fetus has been about the hardcore scene, and I'm kind of getting it. Not the worst ending for an album, but it's still a pretty fun song to end this album with. So yeah. Yeah, so those are my thoughts on this new album from Dying Fetus, Make Them Beg for Death. And I want to say like the first half and the back end of this album are like night and day. Because in the first 5 songs or so, I feel like there was a lack of passion. Something was missing. There was no weight. Like it was just typical death metal songs that I kind of heard before. Maybe that was my fault. Like I've already heard a lot of stuff, and so I thought it sounded too similar to other stuff. But I don't know, just something wasn't really clicking with me in terms of um them sounding really good. But then the second half of the album, they just sounded like a totally different band. They were on fire, felt like they were like a new, fresh, hungry death metal band that wanted to prove themselves and just rip through with some technical riffs, fast drumming, deep and intense like gutturals and vocals and everything. I'm not saying the first half was like that. Maybe it was technical. The drumming was pretty good, but a lot of it did feel a little bit generic to me. But the back end of this album, pretty top notch. So it's a very like night and day situation here. And especially in the first half, I didn't feel like I heard the bass that much. But in the second half, bass, 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 I could hear that shit. So I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. But this is my first introduction with Dying Fetus. And I feel like this is maybe not their best material. I've listened, well, I guess over the years, I've listened to a few tracks here and there, like from off their album Reign Supreme. There's like 1 or 2 songs here that I really like, but I've never fully done a journey with Dying Fetus. So if you know any suggestions of albums or songs that I might have missed or EPs that you think that would help me really understand Dying Fetus and help me understand this album more, please let me know down in the comments. So with that being said, I would say this album from Dying Fetus is a solid to okay 7 out of 10. A lot of good, a lot of bad on this album, I think personally, but not a complete like write off of an album. I think they've been in the game for 30 years. They clearly know what they're doing, have a lot of talent in this group. So thanks for coming on by. I'm Matt from Diazable. Check me out next time for another review. Like, subscribe, comment down below. And until next time, bye.